go. Yes. Oh, still joining. Oh, there we go. Hello, YouTube and everybody. Sorry. Took a minute there. Let me get Instagram rolling. Bam. All right. Instagram is good. Substack is good. I need to pull up Substack, though. Hold on a second here. Substack is here. There we are. One Substacker. That's okay. Good start. There will be 15 of you eventually, usually-ish. All right. Well, thank you, Annie. I just feel tired tonight. I don't know why. I mean, I just do. It's, although, you know what it is? Actually, my back is bothering me, and I'm taking some of the muscle relaxants, and that's probably exactly why. I keep forgetting. Those things knock me out. Makes me totally like, ugh. That's exactly what's going on. I was wondering. I was like, I'm feeling very goofy, but that's not goofy. I wish I was feeling goofy. I'm just feeling very Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome. All right, TikTok. I am ready to go on TikTok, and then I've got to see if those other gifts are probably not live again because I turned them off from being automatic. Let's see. Of course, they're not there. It's TikTok. Oh, here we go. Hello, TikTokers. Wait, that's not it. Hello, TikTokers. How are we doing this evening? I am trying to find, as always, live gifts. They're not live gifts, though. Viewer wishes. There we go. Start. There we go. Okay, there are the viewer wishes. There we go. Hello, everybody. I've got a little coffee to help me out this evening. In one of those yogurt cups or whatever they are, but I love these things. They're so fun. Like you can make little espressos in them and stuff, Very nice. My day's okay. I'm just a little tired, but I'm a little tired because I think I'm taking a muscle relaxant because my back is still bothering me. And they just like make me a little things I can't say on TikTok, what they remind me of. They just make me like I feel like I'm watching TV. Like I'm just kind of like zoned, It's okay. And we've got a ton of news tonight. Trump is flip-flopping left and right on Iran. It's not even clear what's going on now. I mean, very weird stuff. Very weird stuff. Theater the other night I thought was kind of shitty, but what do you do? We can talk about that at the end. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm John Aravosis. Hello, TikTok, YouTube, Substack, Discord, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. And Sasha is making a quick appearance on the couch for there you go, Facebookers. There we go. That TikTok, you guys couldn't see. Everybody else was able to see Sasha do a little. Oh, she's still there. She's doing just a little. I don't think you guys can't see her. Oh no, she went down again. She was right here, like peeking up. Oh, that was an ear where my finger is. You may get a quick sighting here on TikTok. Hard to say. The writing may be in the way too. Oh, there you see. You're getting little bits of ear. You're getting the top of my dog's head. The TikTokers. Right there's her ear. It's all you're getting. Sorry. I tried. Oh, here. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, nope. You can't see her. Thank you. Goat scream. Who gets the goat scream? Succeed. Pick a goat, any goat. You know how that works. Succeed. Halloween. Halloween it is. I keep moving things around on my desk here. I've got to stop. Here we go. Oh, no, that's Christmas. Here's Halloween. They're all sitting in front of me, but they're all like thrown around everywhere. There we go. Well, this one is a quite nice goat. The other ones ought to follow this. The other ones ought to follow this. They ought to have seasonal. The seasonal ones don't have like different music for the seasons, which they really should, because it is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Anyway, welcome guys. So yes, John Aravosis. Today's Friday. Sip of coffee. Tomorrow we've got our coffee talk, which is the hangout I do for this paid monthly subscribers. That's TikTok, YouTube, Discord, Substack, Twitch. I keep forgetting about Twitch. Twitch is here too. I don't know if anybody's here with us with Twitch today, but Twitch is here too. We do. We got one person over at Twitch. Hello, Twitch person. But yeah, so tomorrow anybody who's a monthly subscriber can join us. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. So that would be nice. You never get the live notice, brown-eyed girl. Welcome to TikTok. Welcome to TikTok. Thank you for the Batwing hat, Andy. Sorry about that. I was looking away at that quick second there. Sorry. Thank you for that. Thank you, lady. That is a pretty cool one. So anyway, guys, welcome. So yeah, let's get rolling. Thank you, Oklahoma. Lots of gifts coming on TikToks. TikTok has, all of you have been really generous, but the war has like the war has brought out the generosity in people with these gifts. Maybe things are so negative that we're like, we need fun gifts on the screen. You know what I mean? Thank you, Alistair. I'm thinking that may be it. It's like, helps me at least. I mean, makes life a little more fun for me. Thank you, Rosie. Anyway, all right, let's get rolling, guys. So Trump is, this literally just happened. He's in the major of a massive flip-flop on Iran today. He's all over the place. Something's going on. Something's going on. All day today, we had indications that Trump is preparing for a land invasion of Iran. All day today. Now, he's like heading for the helicopter or whatever the hell it is to go to Mar-a-Lago. And he basically says something like, let me find the quote. I've got it here, but it's mixed in with all the other weird little quotes he said today. Says something, we are getting very close to meeting our objectives as we consider winding down our great military efforts in the Middle East with respect to the terrorist regime of Iran. Actually, that was a tweet he put out or a social media post. He's now saying, oh, well, he keeps saying we've met all the objectives, so we keep going, then why are we still in the war? Now he's saying, oh, we're getting ready to wind down. Yeah, well, Mr. Getting Ready to Wind Down just sent 5,000 Marines to the Middle East. Two different allotments of Marines, meaning first they sent 2,000, then they went, oh shit, and they sent another 2,000. Something's going on. All the talk today was of an impending land invasion. The Pentagon is preparing war plans. They're thinking of invading Kharg Island, and whether they take Kharg Island or whether they what were they saying actually? I want to read what was it was Kharg Island, but what was it was either blockading or taking Kharg Island. So this is the island that's close to Kuwait. I can show you on the map again if you want, but it's close to Kuwait, and Iran exports like 90% of its oil via Kharg. And the talk now all day was that Trump is thinking of either blockading it, so Iran can't export their oil, or landing Marines on it and taking it. Now, all the experts were also going, you're insane if you're going to try to do this, because our Marines will be, I always say I'm a foreign policy guy. I'm not a defense expert. I am a foreign policy expert, but I read and I'm not stupid. And I also read what the defense folks say. The defense folks say, very dangerous trying to take this island. I will show you the map. Hang on. I will show you the map, because one big reason is getting to the island in the open, dangerous. Holding the island, super dangerous. Because we are going to be sitting on an island, our Marines are going to be sitting on an island with Iran bombing them from the mainland. Sitting on an island. Kind of dangerous. All the experts say this is dangerous as hell, that what Trump is talking about doing. Let me show you this. And I have a feeling that because Trump likes to lie. When he's planning military operations, he likes to lie. I don't mean his typical pathological lie. I mean strategic lie. Usually he's a pathological liar in general, but this is a strategic lie, and to weave and confuse you and everything. I think, thank you, Terry. Oh, that's funny. Thank you. I never noticed it was with a watering can before. I think he's pretending like, oh, we're almost wrapped up and leaving, because he's planning a massive invasion. I don't know for sure, but knowing Trump, if Trump were thinking of leaving, he wouldn't say we're leaving. He's saying we're leaving to maybe trick the markets or something, although the markets were closing now, so that doesn't matter. All right, or he's trying to trick the Iranians into thinking we're leaving and we're really getting to attack, right? He's up to something. Let me show you. So once again, this, I will get my little pointer, because I think it's useful. And we get different people each day, so I think it's kind of useful to look at the map and kind of see. So here's our map of the, trying to get like sitting up a little more. Excuse me if you guys do gifts and I don't see them. Here's our map of the Middle East. Iran is over here, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, Dubai, Qatar, all of these oil states, right? All of these oil states, oil countries here. This right here is the body of water, the Persian Gulf. This is right here, the Strait of Hormuz, right? Because this is Iran. So it's how do the tankers leave all these countries and go right through this small little area without getting bombed by Iran? Now let's zoom in. Same area, right? Iran. You get a much better view of the Strait of Hormuz, this little area right here. And again, this area is maybe maybe 10 miles from here to here, so that these tankers go through and the Iranians bomb them. Now, Kharg Island that Trump is thinking of taking is all the way at the beginning of this waterway, okay? All the way at the beginning up here. I'll zoom in. It's very small, like it's only just starting to come into view. It's this little dot right here, right? This is all Iran, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. That should be Saudi Arabia. Let me look. Oh, that's Bahrain. Well, Bahrain and then Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so this is probably Saudi Arabia here. So you've got Kharg Island here, and the idea is, do we blockade it to try to stop Iranian oil exports, or do we put Marines on it to take it? Well, part of the problem is if you put Marines on it to take it, this is all Iranian troops. The Iranian troops open fire and bomb our Marines. Well, then what do? Well, you could always invade and take this land to stop them from bombing our island that we're going to take, but then all the troops here get bombed by everybody here. So do these troops here now have to move up here and move up here and move up here and move up here? And all of a sudden, we're starting to take more and more and more Iranian land because the Iranians keep bombing our troops wherever they are. That is the definition of escalation, of never-ending escalation, actually. So, yeah, I was just saying that all day today the news has been that Trump is preparing a ground invasion, and only in the last couple hours did he like put out a tweet or a social media post suggesting, oh, we're pretty much done. We could leave any day now, any time now we could go, preparing to leave. And it was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? Guys, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's actually, I think he's messing with us. Poppy, I would block that one too, by the way. He's messing with us. I think he's planning a bigger invasion. It's always, now, he doesn't know what he's doing, which means he could always leave, right? There's no rhyme or reason to what Trump is doing. He doesn't know why we're there. He keeps changing the reasons for why we're there, which means he could leave because if he doesn't know why we're in Iran, he could always leave any day because it's not like we haven't met our goals. There are no goals, right? So he may be leaving, but all day today, I'm telling you, was ground invasion. The Reuters reporter, who's very good, Reuters defense correspondent, said today that watching Hegseth, the defense secretary, talk this morning, he, the Reuters reporter, is convinced we're invading. There's a ground invasion coming. All signs point to a ground invasion at this point. Again, it's Trump, so he could always change his mind. But the only thing that suggests not a ground invasion is Trump tonight making it sound like, oh, we're all done. I think it's misinformation. I think he's trying to trick people. More on all of this. Hang on a second. Where's my... There was another story I was going to start with, but we'll do that one later. I've been jumping around a little bit, so I've got to look at my notes to make sure I'm not missing stuff here. He talked about the Strait of... Oh, as part of his winding down the war, maybe we won't invade. He says at one point, at a certain point, the Strait of Hormuz will open itself. Everyone went, what the hell does that mean? It makes no sense whatsoever. He talked about a ground invasion of Iran, about taking Kharg Island and occupying it with Marines who are going to be out in the open and getting shot at. And he called that, where was the quote? He called it very simple. Where was the quote here? It's funny having it on paper. On my computer, I would type in the word simple and find it. He said it would be a very simple thing, invading Kharg Island. Where is this? Oh, where is this? Shoot. All right, I'm not finding it here. I'll have to look. But he called the land invasion would be very simple. It'd be a very simple thing to invade Kharg Island. And that was another thing we were like, it would not be a very simple thing. Nobody thinks it would be a very simple thing. Another quote. There was another quote here he said that was also vacillating on whether we're going to invade. He said, he said today, like just a couple hours ago, I don't want to do a ceasefire. You know, you don't do a ceasefire when you're literally obliterating the other side. If he doesn't want to do a ceasefire because we're winning, so he wants to keep fighting, then why is he also saying today, oh, maybe we'll just go home? You get what I mean? It's this back and forth thing that's not making any sense. Anyway, he doesn't know what he's doing. What else do we have here on this? Simple, that was it. Trump said that an amphibious landing on Kharg Island would be a simple military maneuver and relatively safe. It'll be very simple and safe. Our Marines taking an Iranian island and without any defenses. I mean, we'll be defending them, but meaning an open island that they're going to just, barrage. A source close to the White House thinking today told Axios, we need about a month to weaken the Iranians more with strikes, take the island and then get them by the balls and use it for negotiations. So first of all, a source close to the White House said the plan is to take the island and to be in this war for at least another month, okay? Second of all, the dangerous thinking here is Trump thinks it's going to be very easy taking this island. It's very simple and easy. And we're just going to grab the island. And the concept here is Trump thinks we're going to grab the Iranian island. Mind you, 90% of their oil exports come from this island. And the Iranians, are, in response to us stopping 90% of their oil exports, the Iranians are going to say, well, as this quote from this Trump, not Trump official, somebody close to the Trump White House says, Trump's got you by the balls. Now you're willing to negotiate. Well, we've talked about this. Let's talk about it again. More coffee. If you're Iran and Donald Trump seizes 90% of your oil exports, do you A, say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm happy to negotiate in good faith now. B, do you blow up the Saudi oil fields in response? And the Kuwaiti and the Qatari and the Omani and the Bahraini oil fields in response? I'm thinking if you're the terrorist state of Iran, you don't sit there and go, we're so sad. You've got us. Please negotiate with us. I'm thinking you say, okay, Saudi Arabia's going on, and oil burns nicely. Saudi Arabia's going on fire next if you're Iran, you're saying. This is not my opinion. We've witnessed this in the last week twice now. Twice in the last week. Last weekend, remember? Last weekend? That I was going to say beautiful. It wasn't beautiful, but it was this it was eerily beautiful. I will say that. The oil field that was not oil field, but it was an oil. Thank you for the gift, by the way, Stormy. The oil storage facilities that were on fire in Iran. There was one in Tehran, and it was right outside of Tehran, and the guy was driving on the highway, or gal, filming it as they were driving like on the road and turning a turn, and the entire backdrop was fire. I mean, it was beautiful in a weird way, but it was like something out of a movie. It was so crazily scary, right? Thank you, Carlos. That was the Israelis. They bombed like 35 storage facilities of Iranian oil. Well, Trump flipped out, was so pissed off that he said, told the Israelis, don't you ever do that again, because guess what happened? Iran retaliated by, I forget who they hit. I can't remember anymore. It's been a week ago. But the Iranians retaliated by hitting the Gulf neighbors, our allies in the Gulf. They're going after their energy. And of course, U.S. energy prices, right, went up along with everything else. So Trump said, don't do that. Then 2 days ago, the Israelis come to Trump and say, hey, this is according to all news reports. Hey, we'd really like to attack this natural gas facility in Iran. It's like their biggest natural gas facility. It's huge. And Trump goes, yeah, because then, again, he didn't say we'll have them by the balls, but he said something similar. Because then we're really gonna, put the screws to them, and we're gonna say, you better open the Strait of Hormuz or we're gonna keep attacking your natural gas. So what did the Iranians do? They fired back at Saudi Arabia and Qatar after Qatar's natural gas. Saudi Arabia, I don't remember if they went after oil or what, but they went after energy in Saudi Arabia. In Qatar, they blew up the huge natural gas facility in Qatar that produces 17% of the natural gas that Qatar exports. It's going to take 3 to 5 years to fix it. 3 to 5 years to fix it. And then, reportedly, the White House, this is the second time, the White House reportedly said, oh my God, what did the Israelis do? Right? We're so mad at the Israelis. They've got to stop bombing the oil fields. Trump has gone, remember a week ago is when we first heard Trump do the, nobody told me that the Iranians would respond by hitting oil fields in the region. Nobody told me, and everybody told him. We all knew this. But now he did it again. The Israelis attacked again. He approved it. Iran hit the oil fields and the natural gas fields, and Trump again said, oh my God. My point is, if we invade Kharg Island and take it in order to stop 90% of the Iranian oil exports, I think there's a damn good chance that Iran does not pick option A, cry and beg forgiveness and beg for negotiations. I think Iran takes option B and says, you're going to cut down 90% of our energy exports. We're going to cut down 90% of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait's, UAE's oil and energy exports as well. This is not rocket science, people. It's dangerous as hell what's going on here. I mean, you know this, but it's just, it still boggles my mind, like, to what degree this man is doing this. What else do we have here? This excuse from a senior Trump official trying to explain why it's okay to put boots on the ground. We've always had boots on the ground in conflicts under every president, including Trump. Okay. Didn't Donald Trump run on a political platform of every president keeps putting boots on the ground and I'm going to do something different because I don't believe in never-ending wars, especially the Middle East? Somebody should pull up the quotes. He and his people had particular quotes about the Middle East where they were talking about, why do we have troops? Why are we bombing that place so far away? Right? That's why it doesn't matter that every president may have had boots on the ground. Donald Trump promised three main things. He was going to kick everybody out of the country. He's been doing that. Didn't say he was going to kill people, but he did. He's going to tackle inflation. He never did. He actually made it worse multiple times with his tariffs, and now he's making it worse with the war. And he was going to end all of these wars, especially in the Middle East. And he has been the president of nonstop wars. Hello, Michael Giltz. He's been the president of nonstop wars at this point. So, yeah, pointing to every other administration having wars isn't really justification for you having one when you're Donald Trump, when you literally ran against every single administration before you and said, they have too many wars, I'm going to end all the wars, and you're literally starting all the wars. I can skip some of this stuff. Oh, the Brits. So some breaking news tonight. The Brits have agreed to let the U.S. use British bases to strike Iranian sites targeting the Strait of Hormuz. So the Brits are trying to argue, I think, that this is defensive, right? They're going to let the U.S. use bases in Britain, or British bases, wherever they are, to hit Iranian military that is targeting tankers, basically, right? Or targeting the Strait targeting tankers. Thank you, Amy. So the Brits can kind of say, well, this is defensive in a sense, right? The funny, and the Brits have gone farther than anybody that we know of in terms of NATO allies for actually helping Trump now with this war. Iran's pissed. Iran said, well, if you do that, we're going to go after you too. But it gets more interesting. Trump gets asked about this. I mean, you know, what do you think Trump said about this? What do you think Trump did, right? Now that the Brits caved and got on their knees and caved entirely to Trump, he criticized them. I mean, you just have to love this guy. I mean, I hate him, but I mean, just like, listen to this. Trump says he gets, this is according to Julia Manchester from The Hill, who reports that she talked to Trump, and Trump told her that the Brits allowing the U.S. to use British bases to strike Iranian sites targeting the Strait of Hormuz was a very late response. I was surprised because the relationship is so good, but this has never happened before. They didn't want us to use the island, the so-called island. The so-called island. I was a little surprised at the UK. They should have acted a lot faster. So the British government put itself on the line, probably getting itself with its own getting into trouble with its own population at home, and Trump openly criticized them. Openly freaking criticized them. I mean, I'm not laughing because it's horrible, but I'm laughing at the sense that, you know, seriously, you know, like the prime minister didn't think Trump was going to stab him in the back anyway. Right. Oh my God. What else do we have here? Lindsey Graham. So Lindsey Graham, who's a Republican U.S. Senator, big friend of Trump, he today called on Trump to remove NATO forces from any NATO country who doesn't join us in the war. And he said, Spain, for example, Spain has some of our planes. Let's move the planes out of Spain. Well, Spain doesn't have just our planes. Spain's got 2 bases, right? There's, I'm forgetting that one of them's near Cadiz, and one, I'm forgetting the name. Is it Rota? Or I don't know whether that's the same one as Rota, but there's 2 bases in Spain. I think right now, the U.S. needs to be really careful, because if I were European, I'd be very close to saying, get the F out of my country, you Americans. I'd be very close to saying that if I were European right now. I would, if Trump repeats anything Lindsey Graham says about moving troops, I would say, get out, take your bases, and get the hell out of here, right? If America doesn't want to, thank you, Gene. If America doesn't want to support Europe, if America thinks we're doing, mind you, if America thinks it's doing, I mean, you know, we think we're doing the Spanish a favor. Now, those of us who care about world security and actually care about defending ourselves against America's enemies worry about removing the bases and removing the troops because they're a deterrent against Russia. So it's really surprising to hear Lindsey Graham say it, because Lindsey Graham, unlike Donald Trump, actually cares about Russia. I mean, Trump wants to be Russia. Trump wants to, you know, be on his knees for Vladimir Putin. He is, as much as possible. Lindsey Graham thinks Russia's the enemy. So it's very surprising to hear Graham do this. But I got to tell you, I'm sorry, but, you know, these guys are not your friend. They don't like you at all. They're not your friend. They're not your ally. I do not think you can count on them defending you. I would take British and French nukes. I'd spread them around Europe. I wouldn't necessarily give them away, but I would put nuclear weapons all over Europe. I'd put from Britain and France, and set up your own deterrent and tell the Russians, if you cross the border, the first thing we're going to do is use the tactical nukes. I mean, just tell them that's what we're going to do. Britain and France, that's what we're going to do. Right? If we don't have the Americans, in order to have an incremental response to a Russian invasion, in other words, the Russians invade and we can start with a conventional warfare. If the Americans leave and all we've got to rely on is nukes, then so be it. And you let the Russians know and you let the Americans know, thank you, Garden Girl, that that's what's going to happen. But at this point, I really do. And this isn't a matter of being pissy. This isn't a matter of, oh, they're mean to you, you should leave. I think it's a matter of you've got to recognize the reality. We're not your friend anymore. We are not your ally. I very much doubt we would come to defend you. I mean, half of us would, right? But they've got their own state media now, and it's getting bigger and bigger. They've got their own cult. The latest poll from CNN showed 100% of MAGA people supported Trump's invasion, 100%. I mean, that's better than North Korea, literally. North Korea was 99 point something in the most recent election. I just feel like at this point, they need to be taught a lesson. And all those Trump supporters who claim to be strong on Europe and strong on Russia need to be taught a lesson and say, you know what? We're leaving. But I would say, get out. Just get out. And again, it's risky, but you know what? And honestly, the other thing too is, I've talked about this before. Everybody needs nukes. Unfortunately, every European country that can ought to get nuclear weapons. Every European country that can ought to get nuclear weapons. At this point, and I hate the idea of nuclear proliferation. I hate it. Hate it. But at this point, you're nuts if you don't get them. You're absolutely nuts if you don't get them. Starting with Eastern Europe and work your way backwards. You know, it is the only thing protecting the Brits and the French. Ukraine should have never given them up. Eastern Europe should have them. The Poles should have them. The Baltic states. The Russians won't like it. Too freaking bad. Too freaking bad. It absolutely, Joshua just said it worked for North Korea. It absolutely works for North Korea. People often say, well, I don't understand. Why don't you like Iran getting them, but you're okay with North Korea getting them? Well, actually, no one is okay with North Korea getting them, but because North Korea's got them, we're screwed. There's another little problem with North Korea. They've got such a large military, and if you look at the map, North Korea and South Korea, Seoul, we looked at this the other day. I thought it was 30 miles, but maybe it was a little bit, I think it was 30 miles actually. Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea, is like 30 miles or something, 45 kilometers, whatever, from the border with North Korea. They can literally attack Seoul from the border. And they've got North Korea has a crazy military. I don't know if it's 1 million men, 2 million. I mean, what's the size of the North Korean military? Is it two? It's some crazy number. I can ask Alexa. I don't trust Alexa. I don't know that I trust ChatGPT for that one. I'm thinking one of you knows offhand. Let me look here. But it's a crazy number. Let's see. I'm gonna try ChatGPT, even though I don't always trust them, as you know. Let's see. So what is the size of the North Korean military in terms of manpower?
North Korea's military is estimated to have about 1.3 million active personnel. In addition, they have around 600,000 reservists, and their paramilitary forces are estimated between 5.7 and 5.9 million members. In total, that brings their overall manpower to roughly 7 to 8 million people in uniform or ready for mobilization, making it one of the largest military forces per capita.
Wow. And what, using the same kind of comparison, what is the size of the U.S. military, taking into account reservists, active duty, and we don't even have anything paramilitary, or would that be the National Guard?
As of 2025 or early 2026, the U.S. military has about 1.3 million active duty personnel. In addition, there are approximately 770,000 in the Reserve and National Guard. Altogether, that means the total U.S. military manpower, active plus reserve, is about 2.1 million people. Unlike some countries, the U.S. doesn't have a large paramilitary force beyond that.
Yeah, there you go. That's the problem. North Korea is huge. They've got a huge military in addition to their nukes, and they're so close to they're on the border with South Korea, of course, but they're so close to Seoul, South Korea, the capital, that so even without the nukes, it would be very dangerous in terms of what kind of harm the North Koreans could do to South Korea. But with the nukes, forget it, right? Incredibly dangerous there. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, Hegseth. So yesterday I told you how Trump put out a social media post blaming the Ukrainians because we don't have enough ammunition. They took it all, but we have more than enough. We have an unlimited supply of ammunition. In the same tweet, he writes like a tweet for his social media platform and literally says, we don't have enough ammunition because the Ukrainians took it. And then he realized what he was doing. I told about this last night, that he was telling the enemy that we don't have enough ammunition, which the Russians and the Chinese are listening to this going, that's interesting. And then he does an about face in the middle of the tweet, but we have an unlimited supply. And you're like, well, if we have an unlimited supply, then why are you writing this tweet at all? The tweet was about Ukraine taking all our ammunition and now we're fucked. But we're not fucked because we have more ammunition than ever. That means there was no problem giving it to Ukraine. So I'm a little confused, right? Right? Also, the ammunition we're giving Ukraine isn't the same stuff we're using in the Middle East, of course, because Ukraine's a lot of ground stuff that we're literally not doing. We're flying from planes. We didn't give Ukraine we didn't give them a ton of stuff from planes, really, not compared to what we're using. Like we didn't give them Tomahawk cruise missiles, for example. Well, Hegseth weighed in again this morning, and Hegseth once again complained, we gave all the Ukrainians our ammunition and now we're short. And it's like, oh my God, you people. Again, the flip-flops are just all over the place with these people. What else we got? The average price of regular gasoline in America is up to $3.92 a gallon. Oil, West Texas, is up to 98. Brent is at 108. Interesting little thing happening here is sort of two of the main, if not the two main oil markets that are out there, the oil itself that's sold internationally, is Brent crude, the British one, and West Texas, which is the American one. West Texas right now is going for $98 a barrel. The British one, the Brent I just said, was $108 a barrel. There's this $10 discrepancy. And I was reading about this, and the Brent is used much more as an international indicator of what people pay on the international market than the American one. But typically, they don't have that big of a price difference. And the price difference, the Brent at one point went up to like almost 120 yesterday or the day before. Whereas the US one stayed around 100. So there's this big price differential. And Brent crude is not 99. Brent crude is 108 right now, unless it just dropped. I can pull it up and show you. Unless it dropped, and it has not been dropping much. I doubt it dropped in the last hour when I checked. No way. Let's check, but I don't think so. I think you may have been looking at West Texas. WTI is the Texas one. Here we go. Brent is actually up. West Texas, I'll show you guys right here. West Texas, right here, WTI, 98. It's up 2.8% today. Oops, I hit the button on it. Pull it up again. So that's West Texas right there. Brent crude, 112. and it's up 3.26% today. Brent is now 112, which is actually, again, it's up 3% today. West Texas is 98. But this is important. The difference between the two, which right now is like 12, 13% difference. And I don't understand oil markets well enough, but from what I read today, the Brent being the international one is the one they think is more affected by what's happening in the Middle East. Even though oil prices, energy prices, it's a global market, so they tend to go up and down together. They think the Brent is going up more because there's more concern about the Brent going to the international market, and the international market is more in trouble or something, right? But what they think is that Trump might be looking at this and thinking, aha, American oil isn't going up as much. All that British oil that the rest of the world use is going up 10% more, so it doesn't matter what's happening, right? That this is part of what's underpinning Trump's most recent comments about let the Brits and everybody deal with the Strait of Hormuz. It doesn't affect us. Here's the problem. And I'm going to pull up the price of Texas crude here. All right, hopefully this is is this a graph? I hope this is a graph. If it's not, I will pull up a different graph. Here it is. All right. 1 month. Perfect. All right. West Texas crude. This is just the American one. West Texas crude a month ago before the invasion was at $65 a barrel. Right now it's at $98 a barrel. 65 to 98 is 30 and change. 30 and change out of 65 is a 50% increase. Oil prices in America went up 50% because of the invasion, and they haven't come down yet. They're still going up. So for Trump and his people to be like, this is not affecting us. This is affecting people abroad. We're actually doing fine. No, energy prices are up 50%. That's why gasoline has not gone up as much, but gasoline has gone up a lot as well, as all of you know. Now, Trump himself even said today, actually a number of Republicans were trying to claim that the oil increase wasn't a big deal. Trump said, quote, oil prices weren't too bad. He thought they would have gone a lot higher. Oil prices aren't too bad at all. They're up 50%. Gasoline, like we said, you already know. Gasoline was at, what was it, $2.95, $2.90, maybe $2.90, $2.95 more or less a gallon. And then Trump invaded, and it jumped to almost $4 a gallon now. That would be, it's not a 50% increase, but it's a 33% increase. 33% increase in how much you pay for gas in 1 month? That's kind of a lot. And $4 a gallon? Well, some of you are paying a lot more, obviously. $4 is on average for regular. For regular, the average U.S. price is $3.92 a gallon. But yeah, so Trump was saying he doesn't think it's up that much. He then went on and said, the Dow hit 50,000. I'm going to see if I have this video because I pulled the video. Trump did this whole thing when asked about oil prices, and he goes, they didn't do that bad. They're actually pretty good. And look what happened. The Dow hit 50,000. He started talking about all this stuff. Yeah, the Dow, which is the American stock market, it did hit 50,000. And then it dropped to 45,000. It dropped 10% once he invaded Iran. Like, he's saying that the Iran invasion did not affect the economy that much. The Dow hit 50,000. The Dow hit 50,000 before the Iran invasion, and then it dropped. Literally, it is gaslighting to the nth degree. To the nth degree here, right? Bragging that it hit 50,000 when in fact it hit 50,000 before he invaded and then dropped once he invaded. So it's like it actually proved the opposite point, which is his invasion hurt the economy. Now, the other thing, the betting markets not even the betting markets. The market is now, there's some kind of a market indicator. I don't know how it works, but they were showing it on the financial news today. That shows what the markets think. Right, the sort of economic markets, the trading markets think will happen with inflation over the next year. The markets have priced in 5% inflation for the next year because of the war. That's bad. That's very bad. That's very, very, very bad. Yeah, that's true. The Dow is one. I know. I don't want to get into explaining what the Dow is because there are other, indexes, but it's easier just to explain the Dow. Yeah. But the markets have priced in 5% inflation for next year. Anything above 2% is considered not acceptable. We're at 3% and heading up. I showed you guys a Fox News clip yesterday of the Fox News person. I'm reading your comment right now, Michael, because the Fox News economic reporter is freaked out about inflation. She was going off about inflation yesterday, saying this is very dangerous. It is going up. 5% is what and by the way, the other thing the markets are assuming, if we're looking at 5% inflation, interest rates are going up. Now, there's two problems here. Interest rates go up and the economy starts doing worse. Second problem, it's not directly tied. It's very complicated. Interest rates are not directly tied to the interest rates you pay on your mortgage and things like that. That's connected to the 10-year Treasury, but the 10-year Treasury is getting screwed too because of this war. So guess what? Mortgage rates just went up 0.5%. Mortgage rates just went up because of what Trump did with the war. They were just gotten down below 6%. They're back to 6.5 again. That's the problem. Interest rates are going to go up. Mortgage rates are going up. Inflation is going up. And I had looked at an analysis the other day that I told you guys about, that apparently energy prices are not going to go back to normal for a long time. Oil prices are not coming down for a long time. And the longer we stay elevated and the higher we get, the longer sort of the slope is of it coming down. But they were looking at energy prices and saying that even if the war ends soon, by the end of the year, energy prices are not coming back to where they were before he invaded 3 weeks ago. That's not good. That is not good at all. I've got it in my notes, but I'll even tell you some of the analysis today. The Goldman Sachs is predicting $150 a barrel. Mind you, for US, we're at 98. For British, we're at 108 or 112 now, actually. But Goldman Sachs is predicting $150 a barrel oil prices. Wall Street Journal is reporting that Saudi officials are saying oil prices could rise to $180 a barrel if the closure of the strait goes to the end of April. So if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed another 5 weeks, the Saudis are concerned that oil is going to hit $180 a barrel. Now, why do the Saudis care? The Saudis care because they need to sell oil. And what happens is once oil goes above a certain price, gasoline starts being expensive, everything starts being too expensive, people stop using it. Basically, they were saying it was really very interesting. They were saying once oil hits a certain price and then gasoline hits a certain price, right? Once it goes above a certain price point, and I'm forgetting, for gasoline, I think the price point was $3.50 a gallon. Thank you, Diana, was what I read. Once it goes above that, people start rethinking using their car. That's the point where they start to go, okay, this is too much. And they start to rethink family vacations. They start to rethink going out in general, like they'll stay home. They start to rethink how they go places. They start to say, you know what, maybe it is more worthwhile to use an Uber or a Lyft than drive my own car. So all of a sudden, right? I mean, and keep in mind, the Uber and the Lyft are driving all day anyway. So you're not incrementally spending more gas. You're not using the same amount of gas. That Lyft driver was already driving, right? When you got him, he was still going to be driving even if you didn't use him and you were driving your car. So that's the concern the Saudis have. If oil prices go too high, people start conserving and they start getting used to not using gas, right? So therefore the Saudis don't sell as much. It's an ongoing, well, not only do they not sell as much, but you start to use Uber and Lyft and you like it, right? You start to buy less or more energy efficient cars. Well, now you're not going to be using as much gas and oil anyway, even when the price comes down because your car is more energy efficient. So it can convince people basically not to even, I'm going to pull this up here, not to use oil at all. I want to pull up, I've got one video of Trump. Let's see which one this is. Oh, this is I thought oil prices would go much higher. Hold on.
But I thought that oil prices would go much higher when I did this. We just set every record in the book with Dow, with the S&P. Dow hit 50,000, S&P hit 8,000, 7,000 at levels at speed like nobody's ever seen before. But I said I have to go off of that path and I have to take a little journey. We have to get and he would agree, but he's not going to say it.
Yeah. We were at 50,000. I mean, he's literally telling us that your stocks were doing much better, and then they lost a lot of money because I invaded Iran. But we had to do it. Why did we have to do it? Well, depends what day and what hour you talk to Donald Trump about why we had to do it, because as you know, the explanation keeps changing. What else we got here? Iran is threatening to target U.S. and Israeli officials and military personnel in resorts and tourist centers around the world. That's nice. Republican U.S. Senate candidate Michele Tafoya said about high gasoline prices today, quote, maybe you take one less trip to Starbucks. And so that gas money goes a little further until this thing is over and these gas prices come back down. Let's just try to be patriots about this. She's lecturing people who are upset about gasoline prices going high. Oh, hey, Only. Good, glad to see you today. We got that. Oh, the U.S. lifted even more sanctions from Russia today. And in trying to make gas prices stay down, or oil prices stay down. Trump also today reportedly invited Lukashenko, the evil dictator of Belarus. Belarus is one of the most horrific dictatorships on the planet. It is a Putin ally like this. Horrific place. I mean, in terms of the government. He's Trump's new buddy. Trump invited him to Mar-a-Lago because Belarus has a lot of potash. And potash is used in making fertilizer. What else is used in making fertilizer? Ammonia. Where does ammonia come from? Oil and natural gas. Oil and natural gas has gone through the roof. Ammonia has gone through the roof. Fertilizer is about to go through the roof. Fertilizer goes through the roof. Food goes through the roof. So Trump is now sucking up to evil dictators like Lukashenko, inviting him to Mar-a-Lago. This guy is a murderous dictator. You don't invite him to Mar-a-Lago. But that's what we're doing because we need our potash. Few more stories. Oh, yeah. Moscow reportedly, Politico reported this, Moscow proposed a quid pro quo to the U.S. under which the Kremlin would stop sharing intelligence information with Iran, such as the precise coordinates of U.S. military assets in the Middle East, if the U.S. ceased supplying Ukraine with intel about Russia. Reportedly, the Trump administration said no. I mean, good. I'm a little surprised. I don't think I believe it because there's no reason Trump would want to, there's just literally no reason Trump would want to continue doing this. His advisors would say don't do it. But Trump, I can suck up to Putin and screw Zelensky? Like, what's the downside here, right? Stephanie Ruhle. Stephanie Ruhle's very good. I like her. She's, was at MSNBC, now at MS Now, the new name for MSNBC. She's an economics reporter. She interviewed Trump today and says her takeaway from the call with him was Trump trusts Putin more than Zelensky, and he trusts Putin even more than our European allies. This is how screwed up this guy is, okay? She then quoted Trump claiming that Zelensky and Ukraine have done nothing to help fight Iranian drones in the Middle East. The Ukrainians, he literally, and I didn't grab the video because she played the video clip or the audio clip of Trump talking. He goes, Zelensky, he's a poser. He just tries to grab credit for stuff. They haven't done anything in the Middle East. They haven't done anything. The Ukrainians sent 200 drone experts, 200 to the Middle East to help. It's something like 5 different Middle Eastern countries. As of a couple days ago, they were ready to sign a huge deal with Saudi Arabia to send interceptors. They got the technology to intercept, but they also know the tactics to do it, right? Israel, Netanyahu reached out to Zelensky and said, I want to talk to you personally because we need your help. And Zelensky said, of course, which, whatever you think of Israel, it is very smart. You know, Ukraine needs friends right now. It's very smart of Ukraine to do this. But it is unequivocal that Ukraine has helped numerous countries in the Middle East, including Israel. For Trump to lie about that is horrific because, again, guys, he's not making decisions based on our national security. He's doing it based on his own personal ego. And Trump's own personal ego is Vladimir Putin is a good guy and everybody in Europe are bad guys, including Zelensky. Everybody who's pro-America, every American ally is a bad thing, other than Orban, the wannabe dictator of Hungary. They're not an ally anyway, really. And, Erdogan in Turkey. Otherwise, you suck. But for him to lie about what the Ukrainians are doing, that's incredibly dangerous stuff. I mean, good for the Ukrainians doing it anyway, because honestly, Trump can say this all at once. for Ukraine to get on the good, for Saudi Arabia to owe the Ukrainians, for Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, for them to owe the Ukrainians is no small thing. You know, these are businessmen with a lot of money, right? They're bad people. I mean, the Saudi dictator is very bad, but you know, Ukraine's fighting for its survival at this point. German Chancellor Merz, I'm calling him Merz. Merz, I always forget how to pronounce his name. I always think of Fred Merz when I say Merz. On MAGA. German Chancellor Merz on MAGA. The MAGA movement is not our movement. What they are doing with culture and media, how they deal with each other, is not our understanding of democracy. We have a different understanding. That I thought was very interesting. Myrtle? It's not Myrtle. What is? I'm screwing up his name now. Tell me it's not Myrtle. It's Merz, because I always think of it as Merz. It is pronounced Merz. Okay, thank you, Doc. Because I always think of it as like Fred Merz whenever I pronounce his name. The German Chancellor, yeah. Treasury. So these are the last two things. The Treasury Department is reportedly moving ahead with that Donald Trump gold coin. So legally, Trump had to get the approval of two different commissions in order to strike a gold coin in the face of Donald Trump to honor America's 250th anniversary this year, our 250th birthday. They've got one commission said yes, the other commission said no. They weren't going to look at it because the other commission is made up of normal people. So the Treasury today reportedly is going to go ahead and make the coin anyway. Not just one coin, 3 different coins for Donald Trump they're going to make. One is going to be a dollar coin that's in regular circulation in America. It's illegal what they're doing. They're going to do it anyway. And the thinking, I'm sure, is you make the coin, you get it out there, how are you going to take the coin back, right? This next story is even sicker. Reported today, since the start of his presidency, Trump has repeatedly asked how to get his face on Mount Rushmore, how to make his birthday a federal holiday, and how to put a Trump-shaped monument to himself in Washington, D.C. Now, I don't know if you guys abroad know what Mount Rushmore is. Mount Rushmore I've been when I was a kid. It's nice. It's very nice, actually. It's a national monument to 4 of our presidents. And it's in, I want to say, South Dakota, I believe. Mount Rushmore. It's not as big as I remember going as a kid. It wasn't as big as I thought in person, but it's still very cool. And it's pretty neat. Let me show you here. This is Mount Rushmore. It's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool. It's, Washington, Lincoln, it's got to be Jefferson and Roosevelt. I'm assuming Jefferson because who else would I can't recognize the second one, but it's got to be Jefferson because who else would it be? Roosevelt, the mustache, and Lincoln. It's pretty cool. I mean, you guys see. It's pretty cool. And it's very well done like that. I mean, it's totally identifiable. You look at them and as an American, you immediately know, other than Jefferson, because I don't recognize Jefferson's face, you immediately know who they are, especially Washington and Lincoln, amazingly well done. Trump wants to put his face up there too. I guarantee you, when a Democrat finally wins office, we are going to make sure every single one of those things gets bulldozed down. Every single monument to this guy is going to get taken down. Every single one. We are not a dictatorship. In America, you do not put up monuments to a living president, certainly a sitting president. You don't. You absolutely positively do not put a sitting president on a coin because we are not North Korea. It's absolutely unbelievable. But I mean, guys, inflation is going through the roof. And this guy is busy worrying about getting his face on Mount Rushmore, his monument in Washington, D.C. And what was the second one? I'm already forgetting. What was the second one the idiot wanted? Was, making his birthday a federal holiday. Man. Right, the ballroom, the gold ballroom he's wanting. I mean, like, literally, he does nothing. He does nothing other than paint things, put up monuments to himself, and blow things up. Those are the two things he does. He blows things up abroad, and he creates monuments to himself. The economy, right? Inflation, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. The war, even the war, he keeps going on vacation every weekend. Keeps going golfing and stuff. George Bush, give George Bush credit. When George Bush went to war, he loved to golf. And he said, I'm not going to golf during the war. He said it would be inappropriate. People do not want to see their president golfing, right? This guy couldn't care less. Anyway. All right. Oh, my God. That did take a while. Let's hang out. We're hanging out anyway. So, we're already over 100,000. Jeez. I'm thinking the mods might have helped with that. Thank you guys on TikTok up there. I'm thinking you guys must have helped with the taps. Man, oh man. Anyway, thank you, Angeline. Appreciate that. Anyway, so yeah, let's hang out another 15 minutes, guys. We've got our coffee talk tomorrow, our coffee talk for TikTok. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. I will set it up. I'll set it up after this, so you'll at least be able to see it. TikTok, I can't set it up in advance because I don't think I'm able to set up a live that's for subscribers only. I don't know why, but I'm not able to set it up in advance, I don't think. So, but the rest of you, I can. Oh, we got 20 on Substack today. Excellent. Thank you, Annie. Oh, I always that level one, Annie. Thank you. Nice. That may be the most we've had of you guys. I've really only been promoting the Substack, I've been laying off on Substack. I've finally been doing Substack for real for a few weeks now. It just happened to coincide with the war, before the war, actually, ironically. So good. I'm glad to see you guys here tonight. Thank you. This is true. Stormrider says, your president's behavior was unbearable in his first term already, and everybody outside the U.S. was able to see that. It's gotten 1,000 times worse in the past few months. You know, my concern with Trump was twofold with the second time around. Was one, he knows how to president. Like, I think the first couple of years you're president, you're trying to figure out how to do stuff. You and your staff, you haven't been president before. Your staff hasn't been chief of staff. You don't know how to do stuff. So you're figuring out how to do stuff. And then after 2 years, you're dangerous. Trump coming back already knew how to do stuff. The other thing is he's cuckoo and he's pissed off. Trump is motivated by his ire, by his anger, and by his ego and his narcissism. Well, he's way more, angry now that he lost last time, and he admitted it. And now he claims he didn't, but he totally admitted it. He's way more pissed off that he lost. And he's way more pissed off that he lost in court for the sexual assault case. He's way more pissed off that he got indicted for stealing classified information. He's way more pissed off that he got caught trying to overthrow the government. I mean, so he's on another level of crazy this time, right? Hopefully, November, is a big deal. I try not to use the E word because TikTok punishes me whenever I talk about those things that are happening in November or we vote. TikTok gets very upset, which is really scary. This was even before our new overlords came in. The old overlords did not like us talking about it. The new overlords are no better. Anyway. Lulu or Jolu, I don't know. Jolu says, as someone from Europe, how can one man be allowed to have so much power? Twofold. One, his own people, it's a cult. Period. Two, the courts are trying, but he appointed a lot of bad people to the courts. Three, Democrats and people in the middle are sitting there going, and I always forget, Jens, I don't remember if it was you or who, although you're European, so you probably didn't say this, but somebody had said months ago, with all of this, in response to why are Americans letting him do this? And the response was, you've got to understand this is our first dictatorship. We don't know what to do. I mean, right? I can't break the law. I can't propose breaking the law with you guys. What are we supposed to actually do to stop this guy? I'm doing what I can. I'm doing a show. I'm making sure the information is out there, right? Every bad thing I'm making. And my point is just to make sure everybody knows how bad this guy is because we do have votes coming up in the fall, right? Thank you, Wes. Appreciate that. Just crazy. It's very bad, but I don't know what you do. I don't think any of us know what to do with this. Thank you for the kite, by the way. What else? Anyway, I know we've got to win in the fall. That's the first thing we got to do, And we'll see how voting goes as well, right? That's exactly, oh God. Even better that Storm Rider's a German. Okay, even better that you're a German. Now, funny thing about Germans, okay? Americans, we did not, my generation, I was born in the 1960s, we did not grow up caring about Germany. Germany was like any other European country for my generation, right? I went and studied abroad in France in 1983, 1984, studied for a year. And Germany was like any other country. I mean, we knew about World War II, but it was long, and it was 40 years ago, and it was 20 years before I was born, right? It was history. You know, bad history, don't forget it. But it was ancient history in terms of modern Germany, right? Didn't matter at all. France, living in France was fascinating. And I've told you guys this story before. I had German friends studying with me at the Sorbonne. One was studying with me, one was working there and dating a friend of mine. And I remember 2 different times going to like the market, and we like it was the market at Rue Daguerre. Anybody who knows what I'm talking about in Paris, the Rue Daguerre market in the 14th. And one of the vendors turned to my German friend, heard the German accent, and put their hand in the air and said, like, either Heil or Sieg, whatever, right? They used the World War II expression of the German soldiers and did the hand thing, and they did it to basically say F you to my German friends. And I remember as an American watching this and going, holy shit. Like, we didn't think of Germans that way. Like Musk did, exactly. But we don't think of Germans that way. In France, they still, and I watched it again. A German friend of mine, a woman, had the same, a German friend of mine who was a woman, got recognized, so to speak, at some market or whatever, and the storekeeper just ripped into her about being German. It was very interesting. Again, I'm sympathetic to the French as well, because I had sort of at the time, not at the time, when I was thinking about this a few years ago, I had, this was 40 years after the war. If you were my age, right, you could have been 20 years old when the Germans were there. This was, 40 years. You could have been 20 years old. 20 years old is old enough to remember, right? It's old enough to remember what happened to your family, to your loved ones. 20 years old is not 3 years old, right? So I can understand how you're 60 and you're still looking and going, I hate these people. So anyway, my point, just sort of interesting side thing about history and stuff. But for young Americans like me at that point, we didn't think that way at all about Germany. For us, Germany is like in the distant past. But you got me thinking of it with all the Trump stuff right now. Having said that, growing up American, we always asked ourselves, and we still do, like, how did people in Germany allow that to happen? How did they allow those bad guys to take over in the 1930s, in the 1940s, and even appoint them, really? I mean, the H-man came to power. We have to say that for TikTok. TikTok doesn't like words like that. But the H-man came to power because there was an election, and they basically picked him. They appointed him. How did you allow that to happen? And ironically, now we know. I mean, well, we know and we don't know. We know in the sense that we are watching this train wreck happen, and we don't know what to do. So we absolutely understand that aspect, the oh my God, what do you do, right? What I still don't understand is people knew who this man was the first time, and they voted for him again, knowing perfectly well what a simply awful human being he was. And they voted for him again. That I don't understand. And even more so, he has proven himself to be 1,000 times worse, as I think you just said, 1,000 times worse than he was before, and they're still defending him and still supporting him. That I do not understand, and it scares me, because that tells me that there's something wrong with human beings. That there is literally something wrong with people, and that maybe fascism and that kind of stuff is something that human beings actually crave and like and adore, to paraphrase Sylvia Plath. But I mean, maybe that is like, this is something, unfortunately, he is who we are, and he is who too many Americans are. And that's something that eventually Americans are going to have to do. His people may never do the introspection, because we may be beyond the ability of people to even self-analyze anymore in this country because they've got Fox News and all the crazy Republican news sources telling them lies, telling them the lies they want to hear, right? So maybe they'll never sit there and think, how could I do this to my own country? How could I do this to my own values? I mean, people who supported NATO, who supported our allies, who opposed Russia, right? Who believed in the Bill of Rights, who believed in business, who believed in free enterprise and free markets, which this guy doesn't believe in. And now they're like, okay, yeah, you want to take over companies like a socialist? Okay, right, that's fine. You know, no, it's a very scary thing. Daddy will protect us. George is saying the daddy will protect us phenomenon. I'm forgetting his name. I had him on my podcast years ago. Very smart guy, American professor or teacher, professor at, I think he's at, I was going to say LSE, but I think he's actually at University College London, I think. American guy, kind of blondish hair, sandy blonde hair, beard, maybe glasses. I'm forgetting his name. He's very good. Authoritarian expert. And we had him on the podcast. And he basically said that what he found in his research, but like experts have found in the studies, is people crave that, they crave the security, especially when times are bad. Not Tom Snyder. It's somebody you're not, it's not somebody obvious. It's not to mention Tom Snyder's in Canada. This is an American in London who is at probably University College. Young guy in his 30s, probably bearded, sandy blonde hair. So anybody you suggest, put it through that rubric first. And thank you, BBQ, for that. Please keep the gifts coming, guys. We've got a couple more minutes. But he said that basically anytime people are feeling stressed economically, for example, or war or terrorism or whatever, they gravitate to right wing, and they gravitate to authoritarians because they also associate the two. They think, the right is going to clamp down. They're the ones who are going to clamp down and give me security, right? And probably true. They may not give you security, but they're going to clamp down more likely, yes, unless you get far left. But we've never had far left in this country in any normal memory. We never had far right. It's Brian Kloss. Thank you. Excellent, senior. You got it, Brian. Brian Kloss. If I pronounce his name correctly, Klaas. He's very good. He's very good. He was on, I don't see him on Twitter anymore. He may be active, but Twitter's terrible. Twitter just kind of, they sort of decide who they want you to see. I never see Brian anymore. But yeah, he's very good. So, oh man. Far left was authoritarian too. We just don't really have it in this country at this point. The far left is gaining, but they still don't control the left. They don't control the Democratic Party. Also, the far left in America, the far right in America is like killing people in the streets and sucking up to America's enemies, stealing money, and building monuments to themselves. The far left in America, they're way farther left than me. Thank you, CyberDoc. But they want to give everybody health care. They want to give everybody child care. They don't really like business. They want a lot of rules on business. They want to promote the environment and keep the air clean. I mean, they want to do it way more than I want to do it. Meaning they want to go much further than I would go, but they want to go further to give you health care. Like Mamdani. I don't like the guy. Some of his political views I think I'm not really thrilled with some of his political views, but a lot of his views are wanting to do nice stuff for you. I think he's just too far. But he's trying to do nice stuff for you. You know what I mean? That's different than Trump, right? It's just it's a different, when you get to the far right, it's all about who you hate and who you want to get rid of and all that kind of stuff, right? It's just a different mindset, Oh, I know Brian's there. I follow him on Twitter, but I just don't, his stuff never crosses my feed, my feed anymore. So, that's why we say you can disagree with Democrats and you can say they're ineffective, whatever, but you really can't question what's in their hearts versus what's in the hearts of the other guys, Faulted, because somebody on Twitter the other day was getting into this thing with me and Neera Tanden. Actually, Neera, I need to get Neera to come back because Neera's amazing. I don't know that I've ever had Neera on my TikTok. We had her on the podcast. Neera's amazing. Now, some of the far left people hated Neera because they think, hey, she's a sellout, or I don't know what they think. And we had her on the podcast, and it was funny because a number of people were like, I never really liked her. She's really good. Exactly, JT. I see that you saw it too. They were like, Neera is like, bam. Neera is exactly what you would want from a Democrat that says, A, this is who Donald Trump is, and B, we need to stop him. I mean, I'm going to reach out to Neera. I don't know if she's got a TikTok presence. If she doesn't, we can do it on the other side. TikTok gets so many more viewers, though, that it's usually better on TikTok. But I can see. Neera's amazing. Anyway. Oh, I'm not sure I get the I don't know that I like the t-shirt, but I don't know that I get it, Duncan. Gunther, if you want to explain it. Anyway. Japanese Prime Minister, that was yesterday, Mia. Yep, 150,000, exactly. Thank you, TikTokers. Yesterday, the Japanese Prime Minister, Neera Tanden, Tanden, runs the Center for American Progress. At least she did run the Center for American Progress. She might be back running it again now, I think. I keep forgetting if Neera's running it again. Yes, she is. Neera's running it. I visited her. Neera's running it again. She's very good. But she's this kind of kick-ass. She's on CNN a lot, actually. Dark hair, like this, Indian American. I think Indian American. Very pretty, I think. Very well-spoken, very, yeah, she's good. Neera's great. Anyway. But as I said, I think on the left, some people I don't like, but usually I don't like them because they're just too far to the left. I don't dislike them. I don't, they're still trying to do good things, most of them, Yeah, I hear you. I still don't understand the t-shirt, Gunther. That's my point. I don't understand the t-shirt itself, but it's funny, but I don't get it. I don't get the t-shirt. Dog, we're almost there. The dog, my God, it's like 1 minute after 7:15. It's 7:16, and the dog's going, she wants her treats. I know you want your treat. It's coming. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go. We try to keep this to about an hour 15 so that I don't mess up my voice. And so far, my voice has been good. So thank you. I will actually, and this is another of my sweaters. This is a sweater I got. Actually, this is a sweater I got in Italy this time, which I was very happy. It's a Benetton sweater. Benetton, the brand doesn't exist anymore in America, and it bums me out because it was a great brand, but it basically, I was reading about it, and it economically they kind of overreached, and then they were a fad that then was no longer a fad. They're still in Italy, thank God. They're wonderful. Their clothing's wonderful, and it fits. Although it may fit me because I'm Greek. Literally, I went to Italy in the 1980s, tried on sweaters like this, and went, "Oh my God, clothes that fit me," because I wasn't 20 pounds over, and I couldn't find clothes that fit me. But yeah, love Benetton. So this is my Benetton sweater I got in Italy last year. Are you last year? 2 years ago? No, last year. Last year I was in Italy. But I just love it. It's and it's actually comfortable. I've not worn it much, and I was like, ooh. And I can wear it with my black t-shirt. The color actually works too. I'm like, yes. But they're good. They're just not around. I'm coming, dog. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern. That would be the paid monthly supporters as a special thank you. Substack, Discord, YouTube, TikTok. I'm forgetting who else. I'm hearing the dog whine in the background, so I'm trying to wrap up. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, we will be back Monday night. I'm back every Monday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. So you will see me then for my next news update, which will probably be Iran again, because that's the big. Unless if anything big happens this weekend, if the land invasion happens, I'll come on. Because I think Trump is lying. I think there's going to be a land invasion. At the very least of the island, it might even be of parts of Iran or something. I think they're going to try to grab parts of Iran and use it as a. Oh, actually, oh my God! 1 second, Sash. I was going to show you one thing really quick, because somebody said she's trying to she's your get off the internet alarm. Perfect time. Was it Aileen? Somebody said, "Let me show you this." This is so the Russians, again, part of the dictatorship thing, have turned off the internet for most of Russia now. The internet's just getting turned off. people think Putin might be doing a military mobilization, and that's why. This is on a variety show. They now have children on variety shows singing songs about how we don't need the internet. We can go play in the yard. I kid you not. It's like something out of North Korea 1970s, but this is Russia today. Wait, I want to close enough so you can see the text. They cut off the internet. No blogs, no channels. We're playing badminton now. What a strange, scary dream. Come on, kids, don't daydream. I'll quickly share the Wi-Fi. Stop running in the yard. The signal there is gone. We don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want to be online. We don't sit. We don't want it. Like, we don't sit anymore. We play. I declare a whole year of everything turned upside down. I mean, is this effed up or what? This is why I say, Russia is never going to win. They've got nuclear weapons. They've got a big military. It's a very poorly run military of not very good troops, but when you got a lot of them, it helps. They've got a lot of weapons. Some of them are shit, some aren't. But remember when I said Russia doesn't have the culture? Like, we've got the culture. Europe's got the culture. A lot of countries do. China still has to break through culturally because it's so different for a lot of us. But China's got potential out there. These guys, they've got the weapons, and that's all they've got anymore. I always said this before. Point to like famous Russian authors or playwrights or musicians or anything, and you're going to bring me back to the Soviet years. You're not going to be able to name anybody today. Soviet years, right? We could talk about composers and artists and ballet and sports and everything, right? Today, right? Today you've got dancing children about, we don't need the internet, la 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 la. Dostoevsky, exactly. Dostoevsky, how far back did you have to go to find Dostoevsky, right? Right? Was it 1800s maybe? When was Dostoevsky, right? Was it 1800 itself? Hey, Yasu DJ. I know it was 1800s, like 1800s. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I just love it. I think it's the funniest damn thing, though. Funniest damn thing. All right, I'm going to sign off, guys. Have a good night. I'm protecting my voice. I will see some of you tomorrow. Like I said, for the paid monthly subscribers, come back at 11 a.m. in the morning. Otherwise, the rest of you, I will see Monday night, or if we invade Iran by land, I will come back during the weekend. Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, everybody else. I will see you guys. Thank you, Jens. I will see you guys later. Let me sign off here. Substack. Not Substack. Discord. I keep calling you Substack now. Discord. I was doing the opposite before. All right. TikTok, you're last. You guys, bye-bye.